Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you stick around till the end because this is one of those stories where the details matter, and I promise you'll leave with a totally different perspective on Samsung's new Ultra. So, the big spotlight this year falls on the processor. Every year Samsung teams up with Qualcomm, and together they cook up a chip that's supposed to push boundaries. This time, though, it isn't just about pushing, it's about stretching that chip to its absolute limits. Most people expected the Galaxy S26 Ultra to arrive with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2, which by itself is no slouch. But Samsung's version, it's been tuned differently. Instead of maxing out at 4.61 GHz, this Galaxy Edition runs at 4.74. Now, at first glance, that looks like a small difference, almost meaningless. But in the world of processors, that bump is like taking a car that already goes 200 miles per hour and giving it a turbo boost. Suddenly, you're shaving seconds off every lap, and that matters. Benchmarks tell the story. Single-core scores jump from 3,900 to 4,000. Multi-core goes up too. And if you're into numbers, that's a huge deal. But here's the exciting part. If you want this maxed-out version of Qualcomm's chip, there's only one place to find it. The Galaxy S26 Ultra. No other brand gets this special treatment, and that makes Samsung's phone the crown jewel for performance enthusiasts. Now, before you get too excited, there's always a trade-off. More power means more heat, and usually less battery life. And here's the thing, Samsung hasn't given us a bigger battery. We're still looking at the same 5,000 mAh capacity. That's the exact same size we've had for years now. Meanwhile, Apple went the other way, giving the iPhone 17 Pro a slightly larger pack. So if you're someone who pushes your phone to the edge, whether it's gaming, video editing, or long days of multitasking, Androids might be the weak spot this year. There is one saving grace though: charging speeds are finally getting better. Instead of sticking to 45 watts, the S26 Ultra now supports 60-watt fast charging. So even if you burn through that battery a little quicker, you'll be able to top it up faster than before. That doesn't completely erase the problem, but it definitely helps. Now, let us talk about the side story that never goes away: Samsung's own Exynos chips. For years, they've been trying to bring Exynos back into the Galaxy S series. The Exynos 2500 was supposed to shine in the S25, but delays pushed it back and it showed up later in the Z Flip 7 instead. For the S26, Samsung had ambitious plans for a shiny new 2nm Exynos. Imagine the headlines that would have made. But once again, reports say the chip just wasn't ready for mass production. And because of that, the Ultra is sticking with Qualcomm across the board. Could we still see Samsung splitting the lineup, Snapdragon in some countries and Exynos in others? Sure, it's always possible, but if you ask me, it feels unlikely this time. Samsung knows people want the best performance, and right now Snapdragon is the safer bet. Maybe in a year or two Exynos will finally be back in the spotlight, but not today. Now here's the part that's honestly just messy: the name of this chip. Everyone assumed it would be called Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 2. Simple, clear, makes sense. But according to new leaks, Qualcomm might actually brand it Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Gen 5, even though the model number is SM8850, and it's basically the second Elite. Yeah, I know, it makes zero sense. Are they skipping numbers to sound futuristic? Are they trying to match it with the standard Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 that is also launching this year? Nobody really knows, but what we do know is it's confusing. And when buyers are already struggling to figure out which chip is which, this only adds more noise. So what does all this mean if you're thinking about buying the Galaxy S26 Ultra? It means you'll be holding the fastest version of Qualcomm's chip, period. It means you'll get the bragging rights, the benchmark wins, the smoothest performance available on Android right now. But it also means you'll need to live with the same size battery, possibly shorter screen-on times, and the headache of explaining to your friends why the name of your processor doesn't actually match the number on the box. But maybe that's what makes the Ultra special. Every year Samsung pushes one part of the formula higher than anyone else. Sometimes it's the camera, sometimes it's design. And this year it's raw power. They're telling the world if you want the very fastest Snapdragon chip, you'll only find it here. And honestly, that's kind of thrilling. So here's my question for you. Do you think Samsung is playing it safe by sticking with Snapdragon, or do you wish they had risked it with Exynos? And what about Qualcomm's strange naming choice? Do you think calling it Gen 5 makes sense, or is it just marketing fluff? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I really want to hear where you stand on this. And if you made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. You're the reason I keep making these deep dives into tech. Hit subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the curve, because trust me, the next chapter in the smartphone race is going to get even crazier. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.